Hello and welcome to We, Me and Us. We are delighted to have you here as we dive into the exciting journey of leading, coaching and transforming organizations in our rapidly changing world. I'm Pierre Neis, your host and Agile coach. I'm truly passionate about sharing real-world insights with those eager to create meaningful change. At We, Me and Us, we're all about exploring new tools and perspectives that inspire impactful transformation. Let's embark on this journey together. Welcome in this new episode. Today I want to talk to you about something. I want to talk to you a little bit about AO and how the AO approach is helping my customers to moving in on their agile journey. So the questions we have to ask is, okay, what do you want to do in your agile transformation? And in fact, what does it mean? So sometimes if you say, oh, agile is a software thing, it's not. It's a people thing. Or we say agile, you put agile everywhere. Unfortunately, I do, yes. But how can you understand agile? You can understand this like a human-centric organization, a more social organization, a more performing organization. To be really, really simple, you have to come or maybe understand that if you want to increase your company or organization performance, the performance is an outcome, is the consequence of something. So we know if you want to have great customer experience, it works only if you have great people experience. Think about the company you met. You can go, I remember I went in some banks. It looks absolutely awesome environment, great design, the best tools, the best desk, everyone let's say the top of the notch, what you can expect and what you can think about it. And they deliver very poorly and people they just came to do their job. Let's say people were not really engaged at work. They just were involved. That's it. Just involved. And on the other hand, you have companies which looks creepy. It's like a bazaar. It's like, it's not looking what somebody tells you how it should look like, right? It's awful. And they have great outcome, great results, great dynamics. What is there? So usually what happens is somebody in his ivory tower, for all the best reasons, this is not finger pointing at all, is the design, how it should be, how it should look like, and then people have to work with it, and you should be able to face exactly the result that somebody has in his head. In reality, it doesn't work like this. This is for the design, or maybe for all the desk and the crazy, and you have a flipper, or you have a table football, a table tennis desk, and you provide coffee. This is not why people are coming to work. These are not why people are getting engaged at work. This is not where you can find great engagement. So Agile means we want to go in a new way of working, a more sense-making way of working, based on, you can see, to respond to VUCA world. So VUCA like volatility of customers, of people, or uncertainty, you navigate outside. Complexity is you have to reach out, you have to understand things a little bit differently. You have to be always on the verge to understand, or what we can say, you have to be able to face any kind of black swans emerging from the world, like black swans we already know with the wars we're having, with the political situation we are facing. Actually, I'm in the middle of February 2025, so I don't want to mention here. And you have ambiguity. Everything is quite ambiguous. It's not really crystal clear. In fact, we have habits from our older times. When you thought you're coming in a country, or you came into an organization where the leader, the authority, the boss knew exactly what you have to do, and most likely the whole company is just assisting the boss to achieve his vision. And you're just coming to make your money for your living. No complaints here. I do it. Everyone does it. But is that the right thing? This worked pretty well at the beginning of 19th century or 20th century, and we call it scientific management. This worked when you had the monopoly of the situation. It worked when the demand is bigger than the offer. On the other way around, at the end of the 1930s, beginning World War II, we have something that changed. You have the competition has become bigger, and you have to be able to make mass customization. In a way, you have to be able to respond to different needs. So we still have people think upfront, people working with assisting, but you have to be pretty much more proactive. We're asking you not only to do things, but also to think on what you're doing. So we have a famous quote from the lean part. They say, I didn't pay you only for your hands if I can get your brain for free. So we're asking people to be more proactive or part of the system. So this is called system thinking. But since the end of the 20th century, we say, okay, we are facing something completely different. The work has become global. The work is now pretty much complex. You have to understand to work here in how to become performant. How can you thrive and survive in this ever-changing world? So we have companies like Forrester or Gartner giving here serious advice on the strategies of companies. Hey, you have to be agile or you're dead in 5 years. That's quite rude, right? It's very rude because it instills fear. It needs you to kick off to move something else. But the problem is that agile is not very, very clearly defined. And what does it mean? And become agile means the company has to be more responsive than only robust. Before we design for robustness, we have a design organization designed forever, ever. So you have an OEM, and you have to fit in that design. And then we see here, okay, my design can change because we want to be responsive. If I want to be responsive of any changes in the world, in the competition, in the economy, maybe even with your people you can't retain, you have to be responsive. It means it's not only one guy in the company or a couple of people in the company which are responsive. Is the whole company has to be responsive. And to become responsive, you have to design for engagement. Design for engagement is what I call, in my own words, maybe you have different words, and that's absolutely okay. I call it an Agile Organization model. An Agile Organization model is also a way to be able to respond to emerging niche markets. This is why Agile manufacturing has been designed in 1995, or was researched on. Oh, we have to change the world, have to be more rapid, more responsive. But this is a cultural change. We have to shift from one paradigm to another paradigm, which is one way of thinking to another way of thinking. But what is this way of thinking? So when I designed AO, it was my reflections over 20 years ago when I started in the lean part. They say, oh, what you are doing is pretty well done. Then I read something research from people from McKinsey, who they explain, they wrote a quote or a memo, or we can call it a paper about structure is not organization. Here is the key. Structure is different as organization. The structure is the pyramid, is the organigram which you fit in. In the former company, I used to be a senior manager. My aim in that organization is to become associate director and then become director, then etc., until you reach the top at the king's level. This is the structure. The structure is designed for compliance. So if you have people like Kimball Fisher who wrote here, attention, we have to be more responsive. Structure is not organization in that way. One is designed for compliance, and another is designed for performance and for profit. So organization is a profit. I will tell you the difference. Where do I make the money? Where are we doing the money? Where are we doing the money, or where are we gaining knowledge? It's never in the structure. It's not me as a role, as a manager, to become a senior vice president. This is for my own career. But in the other way, I work on projects, on initiatives, or whatever you name it, where I face the customer. And when we're facing the customer or the user, or maybe the students, or maybe the lawyers, or maybe the scholars, anyone, the people who needs your support to create something, this is where you create the value. And this is called organization. So organization doesn't need management. Organization is per nature self-organized, because we want to have co-creativity to create knowledge. That creativity is based on complex system thinking. And because it's a bit different beyond the business, if I'm purely on the concrete system thinking, I'm just in research. If I'm just in research, the risk I will have is nobody see the value. You say, oh, you're a cost center, but we want to be also a profit center. So it's a balanced approach between research and the development part. I say any kind, not only software. This is true for everything, all the work, even in manufacturing. You do in the development part, this is where you create the value. So development and maybe research can be in different sort of organization with different end users, but you have to find the balance the way you figure out. If you have these paradigms, before getting completely crazy, just think about those two things. One side, structure, the other side, organization. The one part of structure is all about compliance, asset management, risk management, to keep the company in place forever. Right? This is the shape, and you create here, this is the risk. That structure is needed, is the safe to fail container, allowing fail-safe experiments. On the other hand, you need also organization, because organization is where you create the value of any kind, depends on what are your expectations. So value on one side, which is organization, and structure on the other side. On organization, you're doing fail-safe experiment to learn things, to go faster, iteratively, or empirically, or just not. So we have two elements here. Structure and organization. Actually, we have a lot of people, or a lot of colleagues, trying out nice things. They're nice, these are experiments, nothing to blame, but are they really impactful? So we can come with a lot of agile methodologies, which is just reinforcing structure. So we have a lot of agile at scale approaches, or Scrum at scale approaches, safe approaches. You have these all at scale approaches that resonates maybe for people pretty much involved in agile organization models. But these are just models supporting structure. These models are not supporting organization. So my angle was a little bit different. When I work with a couple of customers and my current customer, we say, okay, what are we doing? We want to be an agile organization. Okay, what do you want to achieve? Are you in merger and acquisition? Meaning you want to have everyone all around the world globally aligned with the same culture or the same thing. Oh, yes, it's a good idea. No, it's a bad idea. This is not where you can gain the benefits of it. You will spend a lot of money just to colonize everyone. The growth is by assimilation. So you have to think organically. So we are talking here more about sociology of organization than just pure design, because OAM designs do not work at all. This is how you measure your outcomes and you make your report once the job is done, then you say, oh, it fits in the boxes, so I can see I follow this process. It's like any kind of certification process. They're not explaining you how to do it. They explain how they just help you to document the outcomes, right? So we did this a long time before, but any kind of methodology we had in large organization like European Parliament and all maybe government here in Switzerland or maybe even Luxembourg, that you have to fit to a certain kind of methodology. You're not following the methodology during the process of creation. You're just documenting the outcome of the creation so they fit in the methodology. And I highly recommend just do this. Don't start any war. This is meaningless. This helps people to report because maybe you have dependency with a holding or maybe an investor or maybe you're working regulation. That's fine. The problem is when it becomes mandatory. The problem is it's become like in life science projects, you have to follow a methodology. You have to have sign-off processes every 5 minutes and you want to speed up. This is impossible because you're losing way too much time in administrative tools and in regulation. This makes no sense. So what do we do? Lucky me, my current customer, the head of Agile has been trained by me. I have been mentor. We used to work since 3 years together, just as coach, mentor, supervisor relationship. That person move out in the company, say, I make a transformation, can you help me? We want to initiate 100% your methodology. That methodology is called AO. I call it methodology to make it simple. In fact, it's more a method. It's something for the coaches. It's something for the leaders. And you say, what do you want to achieve? Or we have these pain points. And what do we want to do? Or we want to have engaged in the transformation phases. We want to have engaged people. And in a conversation, say, or can you help our people to say no, to learn how to say no? Understanding that no means not yet. Helps not. This is giving the voice to the people in the company. So it means this is good. Then also we help the managers to understand how to deal with people saying no to them every 5 minutes, which is not personal, it's constructive, and how we can get aligned together. So we have to choose between, on one side, a very strict approach, on another time, something more soft. For those who know, I usually prefer starting with the soft one, because the approach was based on, we call Gemba. If you know the Gemba from the Lean, Gemba means I go to the shop floor. So the idea is not to design a new process, a new OEM process. The purpose of this approach is I go to visit everyone in the company and ask them, and how do you work? And how do you work? And based on how do you work? Do you have a team? How do you work within your team? How is now your team working? How is your team working with the whole company? So the approach is more like check out the reality, make the place open so we can understand what needs to be done. Maybe you need more structure, maybe more discipline, maybe less, maybe more creativity. It's based on every element. Then you explain that you have always three angles. You have to understand this is why also this podcast is called We Must. In Agile or any kind of system approaches, system thinking approach, I included Lean a bit. Even Lean is more a manufacturing approach. It's all about the we. The we is the team. The work flows into a team in Agile, not into an individual. That's the big trick. If you keep assigning work, if you keep asking people when you start the project, and how many time do you have for me for the project? Or I just have 10% or 30% of time. I say, you're not in organization, you're in structure. It means you have a manager who will chase people all along. So you pay somebody just to align people, cross over the company, and checking up their availability. they're not able to produce things. It's about embracing multitasking. So you can work maybe 1 hour on this project, then shifting to another project. Then you're distracted by a lot of things. So the doers, the one who create work, won't be able to focus properly. So that kind of work will be a very simple and easy work. And the simple and easy work doesn't work in 21st century because all the work is very complicated. You discover on the go every day something new and different. So you can't jump all the time in something else. All right, now you can believe in multitasking, but this is folklore. The multitasking never worked and is still not working. And that's a pity. Or you can go really come explain, oh, I'm a mother, I can do this, multitasking. In fact, you can multitask in this way on very, very simple thing. I always have a very stupid joke on this, is it? You can't ask a man to watch a football game properly, sitting on a couch, having a beer in one hand, a chips in another hand. You will mess up something. It's impossible to have one thing. So the thing is, multitasking never works. It's better off to stop starting and start finishing things. Then you make simple things. This is what you learn for all Kanban experts here. They will say, yeah, that's our thing. That's your thing. That's absolutely right. This is where Kanban makes a big thing. But we have to learn, because I'm not only transforming the IT department, I'm also transforming the compliance department, the InfoSec department, the management board, the HR. Next week, I will have the home managers, the office managers, the HR, and this will be awesome. And you are facing exactly the same people with the same problems, which are mostly cultural, and these kind of factors. We have to explain them, that the work is now flowing mostly on a team, not into an individual. Then the me part is, but you have to understand what's in for me. What are the rules for me in this kind of new organization, which look like a little bit bizarre, is going in all directions. It's not bizarre. It's like having limits. This is where structure is. So you don't start by opening completely the structure. You have it step by step. So I have 5 steps in the AO approach. First step is moving from the level you don't know, level 0, which I call agility. This is where you do agile as distraction. So you don't change anything, and you just use the names and the brands. I believe this is most likely 90% of all the organizations we're facing. They're not doing agile, they're doing agility. They change just nothing. It's just putting peas in cups. It's like buying a hybrid vehicle and believing that you're a full electric one. No, if you have a hybrid, you're mostly driving petrol. So it's the same thing. Hybrid one doesn't exist. You have to choose between agile or not agile. So be honest. Just say, we don't do agile. This is step 1. Step 2, we are using waterfall. In fact, we have to learn to become more disciplined in a way of working. So applying waterfall methodology like ITIL is waterfall. You can use safe, less is a bit waterfall. You have to bring structure. Don't bring too much roles. Usually if you have 3 or 4 roles, this is always too much. 3 is the maximum. Over 4, you pay somebody just to report into something that creates no value for the company. 3 is largely enough. So we have the waterfall. Once the waterfall is digested and people knew it is the new habit, then you can come with lean, with system thinking, right? And the system thinking means, we can start reducing the waste. You can thinking about what are the time you're causing with over-processing, with overproducing. What are the waste of talent? The waste of talent is a big waste, not using the full talent and the full potential of people. And only when this is done, when you digest this, then you open it. You make it completely open. When you make it completely open, people get it, they know it, and you can move into what we call the agile world. This is following exactly Shu Hari, which is coming from martial arts. Shu is learn the lessons, follow the lessons. Ha is improve the lessons you learned and redo whatever you want. Maybe for the purist, I'm sorry, I make it very simple here, just to do it here. But usually is I do this and then I do everything up, and we are not doing the right thing. So the first recommendations I give from going from this kind of, I don't know, we are in look. Usually people say we are doing waterfall. In fact, they're not even doing waterfall. It's not blaming; it's a habit. And then you say, just start to doing just a daily meeting. Just make once a week a small retrospective. A small retrospective, everyone together, just thinking of how you work. How you work, that you know that your voice counts. How you feel, because it's not, you're not robots. Are you doing the right thing at the right moment? Do you need to learn? Because it's almost learning, because you're not applying a thing. You only have experts. I'm an expert for some company. I'm an expert in agile things and in project management. And I'm here. I'm not a team member. I'm a floater. I come in to help a team member or the teams to improve, or an organization to improve. With my goal is that my knowledge is shared with one team members. So the team members that can suck it out, all the knowledge I have, so they can continue their journey alone without me. So these are for the experts, but we don't need that much experts. If you want to have an agile organization, you need to think about, we have a team, a real team. The team is the one I belong, is the group of people which I share the same high dream with. So team is absolutely key. So even if you have one big company that had, I used to interact with them, that had 5,000 teams, it was 5,000 different teams, 5,000 different weeds. So it's not the same thing. So in a team, you have one who's watching your back. Is you can understand. Do you need to be nice with a team member? No, but that's why we have all the methods on team building activities that helps. And sometimes you just need to talk about what needs to be done. But the people side and the communication is always pretty much critical. So this is about the we. The me is about, is that changing me? Because me, it's important too. Because the only person or the only thing you can change is yourself. Because when you change yourself, the way you change will change the way you interact with the we. Then you can ask me, oh, Pierre, and what is company? Company is us. Us is another beast. Us is, I'm part of that company. Does it affect me? No. A very part of the team. The team is where it matters for me to create. This is where I share the value. I'm very proactive. At a company, I have sense of belonging, but not that strong, right? If I make the thing, when I see from psychology perspective, with a team, I have empathy. With the us, I have sympathy. The us on the boundaries. So typically when you come and coach teams and they say, oh, I just do starting the transformation only if the company agrees. You say, no, you have to start. You have to, no, you don't have to start. You don't have to. You have to die one day. That's the only thing we have to as human beings. That's the only thing. All the rest is optional. So find your team, work with a team, and find a team that helps you to flourish. That's the thing. When the company say yes or no, it doesn't matter. If the company decide to go in agile transformation, you just need sponsoring. We just need the go. That's why I'm here. If I'm here to help you, is you already get the go from here. And here comes another point. Most of the company don't have a change plan. They don't have an agile transformation plan. And this is bad because it means that the goal is to set up a collection of methodologies. And this is wrong. Agile is never the goal. It's help you to go to a certain point that you want to have. So ideally, best case scenario, you have you make All hands meeting, this is the vision of our company for 2025. This is where we want to go. These are maybe the business achievement we want to hold. These are maybe the innovation we want to do. Then we have a project quality plan. My quality plan for the company. This is the quality. This is the legal plans. These are here also the, let's say, the InfoSec plans, and have a plan for Agile. This is the Agile transformation plan to support the company's vision. So that's why none of them is clear. So we have the AO model. Maybe I won't share it with you. Don't show it because maybe you'll listen to me on Spotify. But the goal is really you have a plan, you have a journey. We have mostly 5 big bricks going from one to another. At the end is an agile model, agile organization model, which in agile organization looks like a platform with teams working like internal startups, and you're just making deals in between each other. But this is polarities. This is extremes. So this is for you, for my customers, very interesting to know. This is how far you can go. It's not, this is where you have to go. This is how far you can go. Then you ask, how far would you like to go? And sometimes in the conversation, you explain, okay, so we have 12 steps. We want to go to step number 6, and guess we can reach this step number 6 in 2 years. But this year, I would be happy if you reach step number 4. And that's absolutely okay. And for step number 4, we have a strategy. And for step number 3, we have a strategy. For 2 and for 1. So, and you have 12 steps. Maybe you don't need to reach that far. It's not important. The big effort is given on the teams until step 8. Only at step 8, we focus on management because it's not important. Because what we discover in models like Agile at Scale, when you have OKRs and Spotify, again, this is old models, give you the sense of being more dynamic. But in fact, with the side effect is not helping. It's more time consuming and giving a bigger voice to non-productive system. I'm sorry, management is non-productive system. So these models are giving voice to management. But OKRs are quite interesting if you know that you can link OKRs with the vision. With vision, objective key performance, it means they are not KPIs, they are very tangible visions. And then you're able to roll out to have the multiple phases to reach exactly the goal we are expecting. And then maybe you can shift back. Maybe you're not able to achieve level 4. That's not a big deal. This brings some kind of coherence on what you want to achieve, so you get the alignment of all the teams. And all the team is not 3 teams. I work in a company which is more globally distributed. You have teams, and then you discover that maybe you have to think in last week I was in Kosovo. Maybe you have to think that the Kosovo location should have a coach because they are very specific. And the strategy can be more interesting that we are reinforcing the Kosovo like we did in Macedonia last time. And then maybe you have to do it again also in UK. But when we go next week, I'm going to the headquarters in Frankfurt. Then we say, okay, then we have an entity here, entity here. These are just steps toward the bigger goal. But this goal are not written in stone. It means you have to be flexible to adjust to understand the reality. Complicated part is, so it's all based on teams. Teams are only working the time you have teams, but teams can change every quarter because we are using quarterly goals. You can call it QBRs or big room plannings or PI plannings. Those are names. So usually we plan all together for the next 3 months. This is having to reinforce the vision for the next 3 months. This helps the team also to find the tactics to reach that vision. And then when you redo the teams every time, like somebody's leaving or you have a newcomers here, you have to redo the teams again and again. And maybe you were a team of level 6 and then you become level 4. And that's okay because you know what to do and where to go. This sounds very complex. you can find most reference on my book on AO, which is available on Kindle mostly for free since 5 years. And it explains that this is a tool and technique that you can use mostly for organization designers, mostly for coaches, enterprise coaches, supervisors, and teams to understand where to go. Because most of the companies, let's say most of companies I used to work with, say we don't have the transformation doesn't work. Then you say, do you have a plan? No. Implementation? Do you have a budget? No, but it costs us a lot of money. So if you don't have a budget, how can you say it costs you a lot of money? So you have to be concrete and coherent. My job is now to help head of Agiles, C-levels, teams, everyone in the company, mostly learning and development to understand how it works. That model is very simple. It's a very model simple based on coaching and supervision. It means that we will raise a lot of questions. So you have to learn how to behave. So that's bad, right? But if I can do it, you will surely be able to do it. So AO, today was me talking a lot. The next time I hope I will have a more invitees to come here. I'm thrilled to get you. So my questions to you guys. What is your Agile Organization model? What it can look like? I'm thinking, what if, have a challenge. What if, just let me know, what if I organize a monthly catch-up meeting with all of you in a Zoom call, and we make an Agile Organization challenge, and you come with your ideas, because there is not one idea, several. Please let me know in the chat. Please let me know in the social medias. This is how all about Agile Organization. Live long and prosper. Thank you so much for joining us at We Win Us. We are excited to be on this journey with you as we support your growth as a leader and change maker, helping you build resilient and agile organizations. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd be grateful if you could share it or connect with us on social media. And if you or someone you know has valuable insights to share, please reach out. I'd be thrilled to feature them. Until next time, keep evolving and stay inspired.